In honor of the remake of How to Train Your Dragon in live action form, we're going to talk about the original 2010 How to Train Your Dragon, directed by Dean DeBlua and Chris Sanders, starring Jay Baruchel, Gerard Butler, and America Ferrera. This story is about a young hapless Viking who seeks to take out dragons like those before him, and in an unlikely turn of events, befriends a dragon of his own, and it shakes and changes his perspective on the creatures. So we're going to talk about this movie, and if you as a Christian should watch it right now. Hey friends, welcome to the channel. I'm your host Tim, and we exist to help Christians live in the world, not of the world, by utilizing our convictions in the movies and shows we watch. How to Train Your Dragon is rated PG for some intense sequences of action, some scary images, and some brief, mild language. So I'm going to go over any convictions you may have that may prevent you from watching this movie, any theological themes present within the film, and of course wrap it up with my personal thoughts on the movie. Without further ado, let's dive into the Christian Conviction Meter. If you're brand new here, the Christian Conviction Meter is a series of 5 convictions that may distract or hinder your relationship with Jesus. This is ultimately a guide and a resource to help you find good movies to watch based on your convictions. Without further ado, let's dive into our first category. And kicking things off with violence and gore here, obviously because it's an animated movie, the action is not going to be as realistic or obviously as intense as obviously a live action movie would. But there still is a decent amount here. Because it deals with dragons, you're gonna get fire and lots of fire, whether it's blasts or just explosions, all of that sort of stuff is contained within this movie. There's also a lot of Viking action, and what I mean by that is the use of swords, axes, bows, arrows. There's a lot of just classic kind of Viking action here with shields and all these different things, whether they're fighting dragons or they're fighting more dragons or bigger dragons, right? This is the action that takes place within the film. The other thing is too, because this is kind of a more war-esque movie, a battle between humans and dragons, there's going to be death of some dragons, and that does take place through this movie, and so there is some sequences where some dragons do get eaten by other dragons or just die due to, of course, fighting against humans. Nothing graphic, nothing super crazy, because it's a kids animated movie. That's where it's geared towards, right? So there's nothing super duper crazy. It's your mild cartoon action here. We're gonna give this a 2 out of 5 though, because this is a bit more in the action side than most kind of animated movies. Luckily for us, our next 2 categories, which is lust and substances, there's nothing here whatsoever to worry about. Both of these are a 0 out of 5. Our next one is profanity, and there isn't really any cuss words used here within the film, but I do want to take a brief time to mention that hell is used once. You actually might even miss it potentially, but it is a word that is used within this film. This category is going to be a 1 out of 5. And our last category is going to, of course, be intense/horror sequences. This is not a horror movie, which means there are no horror scenes contained within this film, but there are some pretty intense moments. There's a brief conversation that's kind of meant as a joke or a laugh from Gobber, who talks about how he lost some of his limbs. At the same time too, the final battle is pretty intense. There's a lot of destruction, lots of chaos, and it can get pretty scary at times, especially for younger viewers of this movie. We're going to give this a 1 out of 5 in this category. So our grand total for How to Train Your Dragon is going to be a 4 out of 25. This is once again on the lower side of the conviction meter, which means if you don't have anything we talked about here, you're free to watch this movie if you so choose to. Ultimately, it's a guide and tool and resource to help you figure out if this is a good movie or show for you to watch. Hopefully that was helpful there. Without further ado, let's dive into some theological themes that are present within in this movie. And I'll be honest, I really didn't pick up anything kind of theological in this movie. There are some themes here that can tie to the community side of the church and like finding friendship, and even some bit of a character arc that goes through of talking about just kind of like your heart kind of softening towards things, but that's not really like theological themes. But the most here is just, it's a beautiful story of friendship. And if we want to tie it back to scripture, take a look at David and Jonathan, right? They have a beautiful story of friendship as well. And so that's about the extent, but that's more eisegesis rather than exegesis. We want to be careful about doing stuff like that. So that being said, there isn't anything explicitly Christianity focused or Jesus focused, Bible, church, none of that in this film. This is a movie. It's got all the things you want from a story, from action, adventure, and emotion. But the best part about this story is it talks about dragons. Okay, all joking aside, in that terrible impression of Hiccup's monologue, this is a really enjoyable movie. From just the start of the movie to the end of the movie, it really just comes together very well. Kind of like a book, which is funny because it is based off a book, which is pretty cool. The dynamic duo of Dean DeBlois and Chris Sanders return to do this movie, and they capture something here that is truly just magical. The story here is absolutely spectacular, and it has all the things you want from a story. It has a great adventure that you get to journey along with and just get so invested in. It has some really solid action sequences. It has emotions. It can make you laugh. It can make you cry. It can make you cheer for joy. It can make you a little nervous. Like, there's a lot of things that happen in this movie that are done just so well, and it's one of the reasons why it's a phenomenal animated movie. Another reason, though, is its characters. It is easy to get invested into Hiccup as a character, to just journey along with him as he discovers new and exciting things, and you just fall in love with Toothless. He is absolutely adorable and hilarious and such a great character. And their friendship is just fantastic. It's so good, and it is just the biggest highlight of this movie, and honestly the franchise going forward. The animation is also really, really good here, but one of the best things about this movie, and I'm so glad more people are talking about it, is the score. John Powell delivers a phenomenal musical composition. It's one of the greatest scores in an animated movie. I'm standing by that statement. It is absolutely fantastic. Test Drive, which is obviously the most iconic score in this movie, is just one of the best themes composed for a movie. It's just straight up, it's phenomenal. It's so good, and I have no words. It's just fantastic. Overall, I really love this movie. It has been such a long time since I've seen this one. And man, I forgot how much fun this movie is in all aspects. It's just great storytelling. I'm not making that same mistake again. I'm going to make sure to rewatch this sooner rather than later. It's an amazing movie, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's so good, especially before seeing the live action remake. It's one of the greatest animated movies of all time, by far. So with that being said, I'm giving this a 9.6 out of 10. It's fantastic. Like I said, it's one of the greatest animated movies of all time. No questions. So it's a 4 out of 25 on the conviction meter. It is, of course, a 9.6 out of 10. Side note, as of right now, as of recording, it's the highest rated project we've had on the channel so far. Obviously not including 2025, but as of right now, it's the highest project we've rated so far. But those are my thoughts, so let me know yours down in the comments below. Let's chat all things about How to Train Your Dragon. Also, let's talk about if you're excited about the new remake that is coming very, very soon. I'm very curious to see how it's going to be, but I am pretty excited about that. And while you're down there, consider hitting the like and subscribing for us, joining our community here on YouTube, as a majority of those who watch are not subscribed. So If you want to join here, you are more than welcome to do so down below. It just helps us to send us out to reach more Christians so they can utilize their convictions to ultimately follow Jesus better. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with us here. We truly appreciate it. It means the absolute world to us. But before you go, there are a few video recommendations over here for you to watch. YouTube is giving you 2 options here. I have no clue what they picked. Maybe it's for you, maybe it isn't, maybe they did a good job, what do I know? But we'll see you all over there.